do to position yourself and what you believe. And so Draymond Green, I'd like to hear him. Draymond is a guy I've gotten to talk to. Stephen and Wendy and I get to talk to Draymond all the time. Draymond, when you sit and talk with him, he's not the same guy who's on the basketball court. He's not flailing. He is completely in control of the language and his feelings and what it is he's expressing. And I've talked to Draymond for long stretches of time, including last week. So I'd like to find out what happened on that bike that caused that reaction. I don't have any reaction other than that, because anybody who fits the description of black man in America who's older than 17 has had things that trigger a response that may sound very much like that, if not identical. I get it, and I'd like to find out what triggered it.
I don't have the context or understanding of the words, so I'm going to focus on the actions. Focus on the actions that happened on the court. He's played 9 games this playoffs. He has 5 technicals and 2 flagrants. Okay, he was fortunate, although if you talk to people in the league, one of the things that drives them crazy is what Draymond gets away with after he gets called for a technical. He was fortunate in this game that the officials didn't throw him out with a second technical after his reaction to this, because he stood in Tyler Ford's face and barked at him 2 or 3 times over. He's fortunate he didn't get thrown out of this game, and that would have been a 6th technical, okay? So just keeping that in mind. We just got through him going through this apology for his team for the flagrant foul that he got in Game 6 of the last series, which he thought screwed that game up against the Rockets. This has repeatedly happened. And once again, for the umpteenth time after the game, Steve Kerr gives his defense of Draymond, which is he plays on the edge, and sometimes we deal with him going into this. That's all fine. They have made the calculation in the investment. They see 4 rings. His flagrants may have cost them a ring. And if he helped you win 4 and cost you 1, that percentage is what they're willing to live with. They pay him. They love him. They've decided to embrace him. But he has no margin for error now with Steph out. Just can't. You just can't be doing that. And that play that we saw last night with Naz Reid is a similar play that we've seen many, many times over the course of his career. Many, many times. And here's the thing. 2 of the technical fouls that he has so far in the postseason have been dead ball technicals. The clock actually stopped here because there was a foul on Naz Reid. Naz Reid fouled him. If you hit a guy like that after the dead ball, it's not a flagrant, it's a technical. It's the second time that's happened. Had those been flagrant fouls, he'd be suspended because he would have enough flagrant foul points. So he is riding right on the edge in a moment where the Warriors are desperate for anybody to be there. Any words he has going forward, whatever happened to get him to say that after the game last night, it seems like it was very unfortunate. Going forward, no more technicals, no more flagrants, can't afford it. He knows it.
Stephen A.
There's 2 points. There's 2 points to address here. I'll get to the other stuff Wendy just alluded to later. First order of business is him being portrayed as an angry black man. There are angry white men in this world. There are angry Hispanic individuals in this world. As black men, we're entitled to be mad. We're entitled to be angry when it's called upon. And I remember years ago when I was in Indiana covering Allen Iverson, and there was this big brouhaha about somebody who had spewed some racial epithet in his direction. Wilbon, you remember that. I'm sure you do too, Wendy, as well. I had to come to his defense because people were questioning whether or not Allen Iverson was telling the truth. I happened to be standing right there when the person had said what they said to Allen Iverson. He was telling the absolute truth. I remember Russell Westbrook looking at a fan in Utah and screaming on everything I love, basically threatening them like, I'm going to deal with you, because the guy was screaming some stuff at him and it was highly offensive to Russell Westbrook. Players go through these things sometimes. And you do have fans who pay the price for tickets, and clearly, especially if they're inebriated, they just feel emboldened to say anything that they want. And it's something that they would never do in the streets if they just walked up to one of these players. They would never do that. But they're emboldened once they're in the stadium. So when Draymond said what he said, I definitely could relate because I've seen it happen to players before. I don't believe that Draymond is lying one bit. The fan was removed. And most importantly, under certain circumstances, players have every right under the sun to be angry. And it shouldn't be a situation that invites skepticism just because you're angry and you happen to be black, as if you're not entitled to react in an abrasive fashion if somebody comes at you in an abrasive fashion. Having said that, now we get into more specifics about Draymond Green. Do y'all know that Draymond Green has 37 technical fouls in the postseason since entering the league in 2012, 2013? That is 15 more than any other player. Why do I bring that up? Because the same Draymond that Wilbon, myself, you, Wendy, would all defend and say he's a good man. He's a really good dude. He's very smart. He's family oriented. At his core, he is as decent as they come. It's hard not to have love for Draymond if you know him a little bit, because he is a really, really, really good brother. But there does come a point in time where even to your brother, you're saying to yourself, you do understand there is some culpability here, right? On your shoulders. When the stuff happened with Nurkic, Kevin Durant, your teammate, I jumped all over Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant said, I hope he gets the help he needs, because I knew people were going to pounce on that to attach something more to Draymond that extended beyond the court of basketball. And I thought that his former teammate, Kevin Durant, should have been sensitive to that. But the choking of Rudy Gobert, the constant barking in the face of officials that would get anybody else ejected, but he gets away with it. All of these things contribute to the reputation that Draymond may have. And it's inescapable. And telling him that shouldn't invite the level of vitriol he might come back at you with. There's a difference between condemnation and simply pointing out, yo, bro, we're trying to help you here, because no matter who you are and who we know you to be, that's not how it looks on the basketball court. And as wrong as the fan is, and the fan is wrong, no question about that, as wrong as the fan is, you have to understand that what you project publicly can come back to bite you. And that's what really this is all about.
Just real quick, let me mention this. Let's be careful here. And I don't think, and I have no way of knowing, I don't think that the comments about how he's portrayed and the technical foul had necessarily anything to do with one another. These are, in my mind at this point, knowing only what we know, which is very little, there's the Draymond Green technical foul issue, which you and Wendy spoke to, and I agree with everything you talked about with that. It's been going on for years. It's as much of the identity of the Warriors as anything except Steph Curry shooting and the team winning. And then you have whatever happened later. In the fourth quarter, which was much closer to the time those comments were made, I don't think those things necessarily have anything to do with one another. Whatever the fans said and whatever happened and whatever Draymond was, we don't even know the question.
No.
So I don't know that. So we need to be careful